Hi everyone, this is Deanna the Organized Miss, and this is my new crafting space for a while. So in an earlier video I let you know that I would be kind of deconstructing my craft room for my daughter, and this is the result of it. I'm in a corner here, which you can't see, but take my word for it, it is just a little corner where I will be for a while crafting. So now that I've kind of figured out a makeshift setup, I thought I would show you what I'm working on today. It is Independence Day, July 4th here in the States, and I have been participating in One Book July for my planning, but as you know, I love junk journaling. It is my form of therapy and relaxation, and just being creative, thinking outside the box a little differently than I normally do. And there is a challenge called JunkJournalJuly, and I will try to find a link for that. It's Joie de Vie, I think I'm saying it correctly, is her YouTube name and Instagram name. And so I've been following her. I really enjoy her videos and her style, which is different than mine, but I still like to learn some things. I am not a drawer per se. I just like really the art of taking things that might be considered trash or old or useless and finding a new purpose for it. So this is a journal that I had begun in years past, and I just kind of reopen it around 4th of July and add to it. It is nowhere near finished, but it's been a fun project to get out, and I thought I would work on that today. So I'm going to start with a little video about kind of where I'm starting with today, and just I'll work on it, turn the camera on, kind of bring you along. This book I found at a local thrift store. So here's my fingernail. It popped off and the salon is closed. So until I get back in, sorry if you're offended by my nails. I think it'll be okay. So this book, I had a couple of these I found, and one was in worse shape than the other one. So this is the one that was in the worst shape. So not only was the book itself kind of torn apart, but the inside pages were pretty sad. So I decided to gut this one. The other one is still in my stash somewhere. I haven't decided what to do with it yet. And turn this into a vintage patriotic junk journal. So that's what I've done here, and it was really my first time trying some things like hidden spine. I'm still learning that technique. Let's see. So as you can see, the binding is invisible on the outside, but I bound it with that hidden spine here. And I wanted to use some of the papers that I had available to me without purchasing new things and thinking differently. So my colors are different than what I'm used to. I had this paper was from the Planner Society, and I really wanted to find a way to use that in here. So I used the cover obviously as my inspiration, and I don't remember what month that's in. This was a color that I just hadn't worked with yet. So I use that, and then I just mix and match things, and that's kind of what I do in here. So I'm just going to kind of take you through a walkthrough of this. Oh, I just realized I had this to show you. Let's see. We'll move this aside, and I will show you this, and then I'll come back. Oh, this was kind of my inspiration piece. I did a journal swap a couple of years ago, and it was just a manila envelope, vintage Americana patriotic theme, and mine was swapped out with someone else in the group, and this is the one I received, and it is just so beautiful. I just love to. It stays out year round. Oh, I love patriotic things and Americana things. So I have quite a few things that stay out year round. I don't wait for the holidays, but I really just love this, and it was so neat to see how she had put this together. And you know, I got some ideas out of it. We had some similar images, and so So her name was Elaine. I'm not going to get her last name right. But she was my swap partner. And this was just so fun to just, it is, oh, here it is. Look at that. Elaine Cooper. I kept it in there. That was a good idea. Thank you, Elaine. I still love this so much. Anyway, it was just neat to see how she put it together and kind of some of her inspiration. So I draw from it every now and then. And so she's got this cute little, I don't know if she made this or bought it, but you know, just little cards. She's left a lot of good space for journaling in. I just haven't decided to journal in it yet. And I just really like how she just did some different things. And, you know, so here's the, oh, I think these are stuck together. So she just ran some ribbon through there and used a variety of these patriotic images. If I could remember the challenge, let's see, it was this 6x9 manila envelope. I think you needed to have between 10 and 15 pages in the signature, one signature, 5 kind of specialty papers, I think, and 8 images. And then anything you wanted to do. There wasn't really any other rules. So I just think this was so neat how she, you know, really just used a bunch of things and just kind of tied it together. And of course it's very patriotic looking. I just love it. So I probably have somewhere a picture or a video that I did of mine. I just don't know where that is. So I don't even know if it's on my channel. To be honest with you, I'll have to look, because I think I shared it in a group or something. But yeah, this is just so much fun. And if you're like me, you love seeing what other people do and how they do it, just to get some new ideas. So I really like that she had this stamp here, which I don't have. I've never done something like this, but I sure would like to. Cute little tuck spots and belly bands and decorations. Just really fun, all kinds of things. Neat tag. She painted that. And of course, glitter glue. I love that. I even pulled some out for myself today if I wanted to use some. Another little pocket. Thought that was kind of clever. And just a variety of little things that I just think are so cute. So let's see. Oh, this is cute. A recipe card. Very Americana. I have no idea how she made this one. Oh, okay. It's a collage, painted collage. Cute. So, very cute. So I use this imagery in mine, so you'll see that again. Some of this stuff you will see because it's very similar to what I had. And so, let's see, I need to get through the rest of this here so I can show you what I'm working on. Oh, look at how cute that is. I wonder if these were candy wrappers or if these came in. Anyway, how adorable. I just, you know, I love the new ways to think of things. I love this texture. Maybe she embossed it herself. I don't know. I really like that. And, you know, just a fun stuff. Fun stuff. Let's see. And of course, all the texture. I just love that about it. This must be a little tuck spot. Little journal card. So, and then she just did so much detail with her stitching. I think that is so neat. So she just stitched all the way around with the decorative stitching. And I got the idea. I had never seen, you know, putting the ribbon under there and then stitching it down. So after this, that's when I started adding that to my journals, especially this size. So I just really love that. So this is just inspiration for me. It is so cute. I love it. I just love it so much. So I'm going to set it back over here and kind of out of the way there, and then show you kind of what I've done, and then where I have no idea where I'm going today. That's the fun of this. So as you can see, I used a lot of the same kind of vintage imagery that these were things that I had left over from making my small little journal. And I have a paper pack from a previous project that is just beautiful, and I have so much of it because I didn't need it all in the first project, which is great. And you know, I love to rescue things from the thrift store. Antique stores too, but you know, I love finding things at the thrift store. Don't we all? So that's where some of that came from. This was just regular, some colored cardstock that I had that I wanted to use in there. And then I just experimented. This is some fabric that I stamped on and just glued it down. Might try stitching it on. That's an idea. I might try making another one with you know, stitching it around. And then this is a button, I think. Yep. And then I just slid it through there and then tied the back to that. So that's an idea. This was an envelope that I altered. It was just junk mail, and painted it up and decorated it. So sometimes just going back through these gives me ideas of things that I forgot that I could do. Because, you know, we always see videos, want to try new things, and there's a lot of great ideas out there. So some of these are just images that I like for decoration, journaling cards, and then I really like taking, I don't know who I seen this from at one point, but I thought it was you know what, I do remember now, Crafty Irina. And she would punch her edges of papers and in those little altered books that she would make, and the pages, and I loved it. So I've included a lot of those. Glad I remember that. I got a lot of inspiration from Crafty Irina. She was the very first YouTuber, altered book, junk journalist that I kind of stumbled on when I first started watching YouTube, when I first started getting my memories back, all of that. And I just fell in love with the art form. And so that's kind of why I do it. I know I've shared that before, maybe in some of my previous videos, but I didn't know YouTube existed. This little envelope was something I'd gotten in a Happy Mail, and I honestly was like, I don't know when I'll use these colors. They're not typically my, you know, style of colors or whatever, but I just really loved it. And so I found a way to use it in here, and I think it just ended up being perfectly. But isn't that the fun of creating things? You see things differently, and that gives you, you know, new ideas. And so kind of the yellow and blue kind of still playing off with that. And then I was able to tie in the purple with this little image there. And it's just a pocket. And some digital paper that I made with this image. So, and it had been a page in that book, kind of the specialty, one of the specialty papers. So I just turned it into a little booklet here that I could tuck in there. Again, no words or pictures on anything really yet. Still not even fully decorated. So some papers with some verses on them. Again, in that yellow and blue. Just everything I pulled from my stash. I don't know that there was anything new in this project, but that's sort of how I like to create my junk journals and altered books. I really like to challenge myself to use what I have, and if I'm gonna use something new, it's because it has to be in the process of me creating something. So like these little stickers here, I got this idea from Andrea at Artie Mays, and it's vellum. So type your own words up. So I'd create my own phrases and print them out on vellum, and then use double-sided tape and tape them down. So, you know, if you can see that, these are all kind of sprinkled throughout the book, different patriotic phrases that I wanted to include. So the vellum was new. I guess that's what I'm saying. The vellum was new, and the double-sided tape, it wasn't brand new, but you know, a new product in my stash. I didn't go out and purchase anything, I don't believe. Let's see, just some, you know, coffee dyed or stained papers that I included. Again, these aren't decorated, so that's kind of what I think I'll do today, is start you know, creating things to decorate with. So this is the first signature where I stitched it in, and I used this twine. Again, thought it looked good. Another of those verses. Let's see what some more pages for me to decorate. Let's see. Another one of those stickers. Really had fun making this. It took me a while just to get the skeleton of it. But it was fun. It was really fun to do. The other side of that paper. And the other side of that bag there. So just had this card or paper in my stash. Turned it into a journaling card and added another sticker to the back of it. And at some point I made these faux stamps from, I got a stamp book. I had a stamp book that I found at the Goodwill, actually, and it had some stamps in it that someone had, you know, been a stamp collector. So, and some of them were really neat. I just haven't been able to bear using them just yet, cutting the book out or whatever. So a couple of them might have fallen out, but I scanned them into the computer and turned them, these are little cardstocks. And then I made sure to, you know, add extra I've got a postage stamp kind of, but it just really, so there would be no confusion. This is not a real stamp. But it was so much fun to just kind of go through there and look at some of those. Recipe card that I used my Crafty Irina style for, and a card that I haven't embellished yet. So that's neat. We'll set that down. Maybe I'll do that one. I do not know where I got the idea for this. I don't know if I saw someone do it or what, but this is a coffee filter, and I started collecting a lot of my coffee filters. My sister would save them for me, and I make all kinds of, you know, unique things out of them. And so this was, so this is just some book paper, and then I typed up again some words and phrases and printed them onto fabric. So I stitched that down there, but this kind of folds up, and it is another little journaling spot. So it's just the coffee filter, and I cut it to look like a little envelope. Again, no idea where I saw this or had the idea, just, it was fun to do. And then this just is glued down to kind of go with that, because it was the back side of a paper that I wanted decorated. So there we go. So that is the inside. This is the first signature. So I used this as the cover. That's what I'm trying to say there, this blue paper. I made a little pocket there, and another, this idea I saw from Gail Augustinelli. I know where I got that from. So I just stitched it up and put some little journaling coffee dyed lined paper in there. And then I made a little, you know, what are these things called? When you run them through the sewing machine and you layer fabric and you, I can't think of the word. That still happens to me sometimes, and I still struggle with remembering things. Well, you know what the word is, probably, where you pleat things and you stitch them all together. So I'd made a lot of these, something fabric roll. There's a name to it. Oh, it's gonna make me crazy till I remember it. Anyway, so that's what I did. Snippet roll. I made those snippet rolls, and then I would snip them off and use them for things. So there was a piece of that. And this is just a card. Again, I found this booklet from the Goodwill, or maybe even the Salvation Army. And it was like a document booklet, and it had these little plastic sleeve pockets, and then it had these big tickets in. So I saw several of them. So I thought that would be fun, because it kind of ties in with what I'm doing here. And I didn't even want to decorate it. I just loved it because it's definitely from maybe the 50s or 60s. I just loved it. So this was when I was practicing making these pockets, And I have not embellished that yet, but I did make this little note card here, just splashed on some watercolors in the colors here and layered up some pieces. Sometimes I'm still a little uncomfortable with trying to figure out how to layer things because people do such a beautiful job. There's so many great ideas and tutorials and techniques, and I just feel like I look at the stuff and I don't know what to do with it. So it probably took me a while to figure this out, but I had a lot of fun. And it's just a little tuck. I'm gonna put it in there. So this was the second signature, and so this is, you can see I was trying to tie in those pinks and coffee dyed it up so it would look a little more vintage. It wouldn't be so bright. And another one of the images that I used in a previous project. And then I used this trim that I had found on each of the signatures. And I think I saw this probably from Gail. I probably saw Gail do this the first time. There's several. Nope. Maybe Irina, Crafty Irina, in her altered books. Well, several ladies. I know Gail does this quite a bit, and so at some point I felt brave enough to try it. So that's what I did. I think it's just glued on here. Sometimes I sew it, this I glued. So, and then I've got a little pocket. I think this is a pocket here. Let's see. Yep, it's a pocket there. Another one unfinished, so maybe I'm gonna do tags today. This is a little tuck spot that I glued it here and here, but it was a piece of extra paper that I thought was neat, and it was a little ripped and wasn't perfect. So I'm not perfect. I just thought I'd use it. I actually glued this down. In a future one, I made a pocket. I just tried a little cluster embellishment there, and again, so trying to pull off the pink a little bit, tie in my colors. In a pocket that I haven't filled up yet. Another envelope, one of my little sticker words here. And I like this for July 4th. That was pretty neat. Another card. And some more pages. This, I did get this idea from Andrea Artemis, that but she sometimes would do double tickets, and I haven't felt brave enough to try that yet, so I just do two pages for now to decorate, and I'll work up to it. You know, you have so many great ideas, see so many neat ways to embellish the page, and then I have all these great ideas, but it takes time to develop the skill to translate the image in my mind to the paper. So, you know, it's all a work in progress, and I'm enjoying the journey. So again, another this was a receipt card, an index card, so I just thought that was kind of fun. And this pocket I made with this was fabric, and I sewed it to paper to give it a little sturdy backing. Probably need some coffee. Let me do that. So then I had this doily, this coffee dyed. It's actually one of those that you put on a table. It's fabric. And so I stitched that on to be a little pocket, and that is where I put this little bitty tag, a little cluster. I just made these with my Cricut because I had the paper and I wanted to use what I had and not go buy some things. So that's where these came from. I just made a design, probably in even a design space. I don't know. Maybe I did it. No, I used Inkscape. And then I just made various sizes. I probably even still have some of these somewhere. And this was some of the, believe it or not, this was extra fabric from my sewing machine when I'd been sewing, or, you know, what you trim off the edges of a project. And I saved these. Is that silly? So I just put them on there. Why not? So this was fun. Just thinking outside the box. So if you have any fun ideas that you see any from me, feel free to take them and use them. I'm not sure where that little flower thing came from, but oh, I had some little flower pieces that silk flower pieces that had kind of fallen off of something, so I saved them to use. And I feel like I still want to put something there, but I haven't figured out what that something is yet. So again, just some fun little quote here. And this one, I haven't decided what to do yet, but I didn't cut it down or stain it or anything. I just left it the way it was when I printed it out. You know what I think why it was like this? I used it inside that small manila little journal, and it was kind of like a smaller piece. Not quite a full page, but you know, just kind of texture. And I pretty much always have to put some music in all my projects. I have a lot of music. This was one that I found at Goodwill, but I have a lot of great vintage music from a friend of mine, and I love to use that too. So it's got to go in everything. More copy dyed paper. I think honestly that some of this paper was one of my first copy dyeing sessions. So I really like to have that in there. It's fun. You know, you get so many ideas watching people just how they copy dyed. I've evolved some of my ways of dyeing the coffee now, but I still really like looking back at some of this stuff because, you know, it shows me where I've come from. This was some like yellow note paper. Another quote. And let's see, the other side of those little pages there, this was a doily I was staining that with. And the back side of this bag, again, another kind of stamp, but I put in a little journaling book with some cards that I had and some junk mail. This literally was an envelope, and then I turned it into a pocket, and I put a little faux, because it had come this way with that, you know, fake stamp or whatever. I don't know what that is. So I just, you know, thought that was fun. And then I used some of those scraps in here that I cut off from different things. So that was fun. These are all just, you know, little journaling spots. And then the back of this envelope. Okay, so there we go. It had one of those plastic windows, so I had this open and I stitched that down just for fun. Just try it. And then when I glued it back together, it gave it a little more sturdy to where the plastic was. And I'm sure I've seen that, which is where I got the idea to do it, from whoever I first saw altering envelopes. So that was fun, just a little booklet. And just turn that into a little card. I've made these to be tags also. I thought that was kind of fun. It's a little card. And let's see, we're almost to the back. So this is another practicing to make these little pockets. It's stitched onto paper to give it a little more structure. This was just a pillowcase. And it had, you know, had some tear and some stuff in it. So I just cut it up, and I used some of those places where the embroidery or decorations are as ephemera, but then some of the white stuff is where I've stamped things, like that earlier tag in here, wherever that is that I showed you. This one, it was part of that pillowcase. I just stamped on it. I feel like I was watching YouTube videos, just playing one day, and I saw someone stitching, they were stitching snippet rolls, and they had little fabric words. And I was trying to make this, and I was like, I could probably do that. I could make my own fabric words. So that's kind of when I started making these, you know, stamping things or printing the words on things. It was a lot of fun. So nothing in there yet. And then this is a set of, like, there were cards that I'd gotten for something else, and I had someone's initial, but it had these other letters in it, and I was like, hey, America, and airmail. So it worked perfectly, just a little tuck spot. And then this is a different kind of pocket. It's a pocket, and it's a tuck. So I really like trying that, although next time I may trying to find a way to reinforce the edges there so they kind of slide in a little bit better. And then this is also here. This is also a little tuck right there. Thought that was neat. And again, just some leftover fabric from, or fabric. Why am I calling this fabric? Thread. Thread from sewing one of journal pages. I just kind of put it down there for a little layer. Another pocket. Or not pocket. Oh, there it is. I really like this imagery. And another card. So now we're back to the last signature. So I had blue, pinks, and then yellows, kind of how I was tying everything together here. And I did copy dye this a little bit so it would take some of the brightness off, but it's more of those stamping on the pillowcase. And I thought I'd, so this when I was working on those snippet rolls that I was telling you about. You know, just it was fun. It was so much fun to try something new, and I haven't made a lot of these since when I was making these, so that's a good idea. Maybe I'll make some more of these. And again, just to kind of tie in the blues and yellows. And I still don't know how I'm gonna decorate these pockets like this. Another journal recipe card, another little pocket. She is so cute. I thought she was adorable. So this is just, you know, whenever I see somebody with a product, I'd run out and try to get it to see how I could alter it. So these were in my stash, but they weren't, this one was new. I just copy dyed it. Some more of that paper. And another quote. I tried not to use the same quotes. I tried to have, you know, a bunch of different ones. That's kind of neat. My country 'tis of thee. It's because the name of the book is My Country. And so clearly I have lots of room to continue decorating. This is just, and I really only kind of pull this out, like I said, once a year. I think this was something that, again, I'd seen maybe Gail do. So it's kind of fun. Extra little journaling spot. Tried to put something in each of these, even if I didn't think I was done. I just wanted to remind myself that's what I was doing there. Another tag, just trying to tie in some of that stuff. And this was a page in this book that I pulled out, and I was talking about Independence Day and Betsy Ross, who sewed the first flag. You know, I like the word. Sometimes I really like the verbiage, and I try to use that in the project from the book it came from. This I was able to do because, you know, the pages, I took this book apart specifically, but so I really liked it. And another one of these little pockets. This was fabric, and I think I just glued that down instead of sew it. So, layered it there, because here I realized I wanted, you know, if I wanted to be able to write on it, I didn't want too much, because I just glued this first little flap down, so you can't take it out, it just folds up. I didn't want to have too much there. At some point I realized that. And some more of this paper. These, I have you know, these cards whenever I see them at Goodwill or something, just little boxes of game cards or something. And this was a game, it's called The Answers. And it's just a box full of, you know, cards with answers, and then you make up the question. So each person goes around and they have a word, and they try to make a question to go with this word, and everybody else guesses what their answer was. So they can, you know, that was kind of neat. So it was perfect in here. I still have plenty of these, so I go flipping through them from time to time and look for a word that I think would go with my project. And that's kind of fun. And that's it. Finally made it to the end. If you have stayed this long with me, thanks. Now I will spend today, you know, working on it. I was going to make one video and just add to it as I go, but it's already 30 minutes long, so I don't know. We'll see. I may come back in this video, and if I don't, then that means I made a second one, and I'll put it up right following this one, but this is what I'm doing today for Junk Journal July, and it's July 4th. So the prompt is vintage, very vintage, I think. Oh, now I need to look. I think it was very vintage. Well, I think this book is very vintage. It was, you know, a history book for the state of Kansas, which is where I live. I think this was from the 50s. And like I said, I knew this had to be a project. So I'm going to get to work to it. So thanks for letting me share this with you. And I hope you're having a great 4th of July. I will talk to you later. I just realized I wanted to show you what I'm actually using. This is one of those plastic folders from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Whenever they go on sale, I buy them, and I think there's 10 to a pack. And then whenever I work on a project or I'm collecting things to work on a project, I put it all in here, kind of gather it up. So this has been a couple years worth of patriotic themed items, and then so leftover things from previous projects, which is what this was, and you know, napkins and junk mail. This was a brochure, but you know, it looks Americana to me. So I've got that and things I get in the mail. This was an old tie that I got from a thrift store, Goodwill, and I just wanted to tear it down and use it for a snippet roll or something. Tags, those stamps that I had in a previous project. That's some jewelry that had kind of broken. Fabric, you know, just stuff. Junk, if there's something comes in the mail. So that's a little hardware store thing, I think, is what's in here. Oh, this is collage bits. That's what I put in here. Things that I've, you know, cut out of things or torn out of things, or napkins collected that look Americana, so that I can collage on things. So this is what I do with it. That's how I collect it and store it, and then I just pull it out. These I got one year for there were jewelry, and I was like, I can even take those apart. So that is what I did with them, and that's the rest of it. So this is what I do. Anything that I think will go together, and this is what I'm going to work out of. As you can see, there's not a lot of the yellow, pinks, or blues in here left, I don't think, or a little bit of that shade. Aw, some of that music from my friend. I forgot it was in there. I still don't know if I can use it because it's just so precious to me, but maybe I'll find a way to do something with this. I just am not ready to tear it up yet. I don't even know what year this is. I'll have to go looking. But, so anything that, you know, this is it. This is what I'm going to be using to, you know, decorate these and whatever else I can think of in there. I'm back. I've done some crafting. I don't think I'm finished for the day, but I thought I'd pop on here and show you what I've done. And, of course, a couple more pieces that I found in my little envelope of goodies there that I haven't used yet, but that I want to somehow. So this was some mail that I'd gotten for an event that we have here, and I just liked the imagery and what it says here, and I want to include that in my book somehow. So I also found this, and I'm not sure yet how I'm going to use it. I had used it in my small patriotic journal that I sent off to a swap partner because we needed to include vintage things in there as well as, you know, faux vintage, I guess, vintage looking. So this was an actual vintage. It was from the 200th birthday of America. And I guess these are postcards that had been sold. It's kind of a fundraiser, I guess, here. And I just love them. They're so beautiful. And they're kind of, I guess a couple of them I did use in that journal swap that I sent out. But I just love them. And not only are the postcards here, but then these little pieces that go with it, they tell what it is on the back side. So so you've got a mini replica of this. That's kind of neat to use in little pockets. All kinds of things in there that can be used, and so I'm sure that I will I will find one of these to put in there. I mean, come on. This is so cute. I guess we could, got my lights kind of putting a glare on there, but this one here, let's see, who is this? The first U.S. postmistress. So her husband was postmaster, and then I think maybe he was fighting, went to war, so she took over being the postmistress. The Tea Party and the stamp tax and all of that was kind of a theme, so I used that in there. But I mean, they're so cute. And again, this was at a Goodwill or the Salvation Army. I had to rescue it. Betsy Ross. Of course, Betsy Ross is in the, oh, that light, there we go. Betsy Ross is in the news. A certain sports figure found some shoes offensive that a shoe company made because they had the symbol of the first American flag, which I don't find anything offensive about the birth of our nation. But I mean, you can turn anything into a negative if you really, you know, twist your perspective around. I mean, I see where he's coming from. He chooses to look at one aspect of our country at the time it was born. But anyway, that's my personal opinion. I love it. And Washington. And a prayer window in the Capitol. That is really, really neat. So that's it. I think one of these will make it into my book. I just haven't decided which one yet. But I'm not finished with this. I do have some of the tags, so I thought I would show you what I've been working on today. This is my first one. So this is the first one, and I just had some of this corrugated looking paper in my envelope over there, and so I just turned that into a tag. And then I had this little piece, it's a pocket embellishment with the girl on it, and it was in the bag too, so I put it on there to be a second like pocket or tuck spot. And I used some of that fabric. What I wanted to do with this tie material is I wanted it to be the topper, but I put this little grommet in there, and then it wouldn't fit through. I couldn't feed it through even with the threader. So, plan B. And I'm not unhappy with it. This came off of that little piece of the booklet, that little junk mail book. So I think her name is Liberty. I really like that. And this was just a piece of that fabric, so I could tie, or material. Now, what is this stuff called? Paper. This is a piece of the paper that I wanted to tie in from the book. And I had another piece of vellum, but it didn't have the sticky back on it, so I just used glue. See how it would work? It's okay. So that goes right in there. And then I was able to put some of that fabric on this. So just a little tiny stapler in there. So that's my first tag. My second tag was, here, let's set this up so I can kind of look at it. Cute. So this is my second one, and this was a piece of that mail that was in there. I had torn this out of some mail that came, and this was the packaging for those earrings. I had a couple in there. I only had one earring left, but I had both the packages, and I thought it was really neat. It said, let's see, you can see that, please recycle. So I said, of course I will. I put another, just layered it up, and then I had this stamp, so I just stamped it on some sticker paper, which I love to use the little cutoffs from my Cricut when I make stickers. I save these, and then as you can see, I kind of turn them into my own stickers. So I thought that was kind of fun. Just use some red ink on the back there and did a little background stamping. I thought that was kind of perfect for this. And this was one of those tags that was in there. It was just a blank. So that was kind of neat. It was fun to make. Sometimes it takes me a long time to make these, because I'm just kind of playing with all the pieces. And what I've learned is the more pieces you have, or the more stuff, the harder it is. So if you just kind of pull some stuff out and then start eliminating to your real favorite things, then it's a lot easier, because when you have too much, it can be overwhelming. And this is, this was something I'd gotten in the mail. So I'm a member of the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary. So they sent me this. So I trimmed it off. And then this was the little Uncle Sam from that, I guess it was a mailer. That was kind of neat. And so I turned it into a pocket because I knew I wanted to put this in here. I just wasn't sure how. I just put it in there. And then I added some more of that fabric so they would kind of all match. So I ended up with three tags today. Maybe I'll put this one over here like that. And now I'm going to find a place for them in my book. That is all the playing I've done today. But it's just been really relaxing. Had a lot of fun. So let's see if we can find a place for this in here. I mean, that's kind of cute. Let's see. Haven't decorated any of these pages still. Let's see what I got. These are all, I may have to move a couple of things around. So I like that. I have an empty pocket here. Oh, one of the cards came from here. Okay, let's see. That feels like a lot of stuff, actually. I don't... See, this is the problem. Then I make all these cute things and I don't know if I want to put them in a pocket. There we go. That's all right. What do we think? Oh, that's cute. Okay, we'll just say him here for now. I don't hate that. I like that he's kind of peeking off the top. This card might have been over there, but... Oh, I did put this in here. I forgot. I found this and I wasn't ready to kind of alter it up. It was just... You know what? This might have been the front to a greeting card. Sometimes when I get cards, and I cut the top off. But also people give me their cards to use for art. I have friends that give me their old cards, so then I cut them down for them because they don't have the heart to, so they just give them all to me and I use them. So that probably could have been where that came from. Old cards. I just like it. Kind of, I thought it looked well there. But I don't have that one. I almost think I want to put this, maybe paper clip this to a page. Ooh, maybe I'll do that. Maybe. Sweet Land of Liberty. And put it over here on this side. No. I mean, I like that. Maybe not. Ooh, no. Maybe on my work. Listen, I just, all this deciding. Maybe there. Okay. Let's make a paper clip. All right. So, there's that last earring. So that's kind of silver, so probably the gold is out. So let's see. Which one do I want to use? I don't know, but see, these earrings, they're not very expensive. So I find them sometimes at holiday time when I want to use them to make little dangled paper clips. can reuse that. And they come right off because, again, they're not really all that expensive. You just kind of slide them around the back here. And they slide right off. And it's a pretty simple, simple paper clip. Let's see, it may not fit in here. This may be, although I want to make this work, so I may have to find a smaller paper clip. Look at that. I said it was simple, not so much. So I need to put a jump ring on there. I do have this jump ring if I just want to put one on there, but I really think I need all of these. So let me go see if I can find a little jump ring. All right, I had to go digging for this little bitty jump ring. That's what happens when you dismantle everything. I love these little things. They're like reverse tweezers. You pinch them to open, and then they can just hold your project for you. See that? These are wonderful little things. And I probably got these, maybe Joann's. All right, there we go. And I really want to put it on this silver one, although it may need to go on the blue one. We'll see. There we go. I like that. I like that it's long too. All right, back to putting this on the page. Put it back behind there. There we go. I like it. I love having things dangle too. As I make them, the dangles just continue to grow. Very cute. All right. Voila. It was just an earring. Well, it was one earring because the other one, I don't know. I probably made something else with that. All right. So next page. Let's see, where do we want to put this? I kind of feel like I need something back here of the people. Maybe. Well, that kind of looks like it would go good there. Okay, let's see. I like it. I think it needs to go here. There. All right, cute, cute. And where's my last one? All right, did I put it in the page somewhere and forget that I set it in there? Maybe. Clearly, I forget things easy enough. All right. Someone rewind this video and tell me where I set that one. Oh, here it is. Okay. So, I feel pretty happy. Well, I feel like I got one, they're all three in this pink in the middle. I don't usually like to do that. Have them all in the same one signature. I feel like I need to spread them out, but this is just where they ended up being, so. Let's think about moving them a little bit, just because I really feel like we need to do that. What about here? I like her there. What if I put this one? No. This sometimes is the hardest part of it all, isn't it? Oh, maybe I'll put it there. Yeah. We'll put that there and I will move her somewhere. Okay. All right. That's the first one and the first signature. All right. This one, let's see, where is it? Nope. we'll take this one off because I do like this one against this red and white. So I'll leave that one there, which means this one has to go back here somewhere. And look at that. Maybe here then. There we go. Better. They're spread out in the book, not spaced out. So now where am I going to put this little one? You know what? I'll put her back in here until I decide. I'll put her with this one. All right. I found a couple more things that I wanted to do. I've got this little card. I'm going to put it in here somewhere. Maybe it needs to go in here. Yes, I like that. That'll go right in there with that one. Good. And then I found some buttons here. And I need to decide which color blue I like, but there was a spot in here. Here it is. I thought maybe I would put a little button right there. So, I don't hate that one, but I don't know if I like it. Let's see. Someone almost looks black. It is very dark, like a navy, but I don't think that's the one. Huh. That looks kind of like it might go with it. Huh. What do we think? I like it. Let's see. Just a couple more. Right now, this is the winner. I think it's a little too big. I don't mind it, but let's see this one. That one's kind of light, and it's okay. I like that one. Let's see. Do I like this one better though? Yep, this is the winner. All right. So let's set these over here, and I think I need to have a little piece of string in there or something to kind of tie that up with. But, so I told you. All right. I think I lost you here. I was, my camera turned off. So I have this little, bowl here, I don't know if you can see. And I keep it right by my sewing machine usually. And I just throw the things, oh, there's where that little flower came from. One of these. So as you can see, I just toss all the little bits in here that I've used for sewing. And when I want to grab something, I just pull something out. And so that's where I get the little string. So I was thinking of something to sew, you know, to tie around this little button here before I glue it down. And I think maybe something like twine here. There, that's good size. So everything is fair game in my idea of junk journaling. I just save everything. Everything can be used and turned into art. So let's see if I can thread this in here. My handy dandy Fabri-Tac, which this really has become my favorite glue. Perfect. I love it. Let that dry for a second. Okay. Well, I think that is all I'm going to do in this for now, so I can get this video up. And I may come back and play in it for a while on my own without the camera on, but I just had a lot of fun. It's been a nice way to relax, and you know, even if I don't do a whole lot more this year, it'll be waiting for me the next holiday, I guess. if I want to work on it at Veterans Day or Memorial Day or whatever. Next Independence Day. So thanks for joining me on this. And if you are participating in Junk Journal July, or if you are making any junk journal, I would love to see it. Just tag me on social media. On Instagram, I'm The Organized Miss. Or if you hit like and subscribe, I will follow you back. So thanks for joining me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.